We knew coming into this game that it was going to be a difficult matchup for us because of their size. So we decided to, try to pack it in and hope that they miss shots. And obviously, they came out and they made shots. Wilson is just a tough matchup for anyone. She's arguably probably the best player in college basketball. And, we tried to limit as much as possible. But even doing that, she's still able to get touches because she's just such a great player. But the guys around them, they stepped up and made shots. And it's tough to beat them when you got guys knocking down three-point shots and they can get the ball inside. And then, the way we like to play is put the ball on the floor and try to attack the basket. And when you have that size and that length inside there, it was sort of tough for us. So we had to settle for going outside of ourselves. But, I felt like our guys competed, kept trying to fight. And that's important. Once the game is decided, we're just talking about how are we going to get better. Like, we're not worried about the score at this point. We're focusing on us and making sure that we're doing things that's going to help us get better. Again, we're out there playing, with our fourth string point guard against a top 5 team. But up to this point, our backs have been up against the wall because of injuries. And, we sit here at 8-4 with a bunch of young guys, no starters from last year. And, I'm pleased with where we are right now as a team. And I know that this game is just going to make us even better.
Maya, you went 3 for 3. So what was that like, having your best game from outside?
It was pretty good having a good game from shooting outside because as I noticed as I was getting to the basket, they were blocking, so I just tried to shoot.
One thing about me, I felt like, she competed and, she's undersized, but, just watching how she was out there and the look on her face, she was really hungry for it. And that's the one thing I took from it is, especially outside of Tanaya, but Mia and Imani, there's 2 freshmen that started against South Carolina, and I felt like they weren't intimidated by it. Like, they challenged them, they went out, and I like that 2 freshmen out there really trying to play and really trying to give everything they have. And again, I think that's just going to make us so much better down the stretch.
And Tanaya only played 31 minutes tonight, which is a little bit lower than usual. Was it trying to get more people in with experience, or was it the matchups?
I mean, at that point, the game is pretty much decided, so there's no sense in, trying to wear her down. But yes, in that situation, you want as many guys out there trying to get experience. And, again, I mean, today is not going to be able to play 40 minutes every game. And, there are games that I forget to take her out because she still looks, strong. But, I mean, I would love to make her sit at least 10 minutes a game. But we haven't really been in that situation to allow that. But it's something moving forward that we just got to keep in mind to give her breathers.
How do you think your team handles everything was going on around this game with Dawn Staley's return and Candace having her number retired?
They weren't affected by that at all. Again, we treated this game like it was any other game. Didn't get all caught up in the hoopla, at least not from our standpoint in locker room and talking. But I think for the most part, they're oblivious to stuff like that. They definitely did get caught up in that.
And you talked a lot about how you guys are always usually undersized. You have to play 3 downs, and then for the team that's such as big as South Carolina, only you could have really about more.
Again, I just felt like we were being aggressive in there, and they're huge. And when they subbed in a 6'2" kid and took out the 5'10" kid. But I felt like we talked about we have to get in there and put bodies on people, so we can't out-jump them. But there was a lot of rebounds we had too because we missed a lot of shots. But the fact that we were in there fighting and competing for them was good.
How do you feel about conference play coming up? You're talking about how these games will help you down.
I definitely think it will. We'll have a couple of days off. Desiree should be back in a couple of weeks. So that's another body, another guy that can handle the ball, make shots. But again, I think these 12 games, we've learned a lot about ourselves, and I think that they're hungrier they're hungrier now than they were to start because they've gotten a taste of things. And they know that even the games that we've lost, a lot of it had to do with the things that we didn't do. Not to take anything away from other teams, but a lot of the stuff is things that we can improve on. And I think that over the next, we're on break right now. I think over the next 3 weeks, I'm anxious to see how hungry they really are and getting in the gym because you don't have anything else to worry about and focus on. I talked about, South Carolina, we gave them open shots and they knocked them down. Well, we have to make sure that we're in the gym making sure that when we get open shots, we're able to knock them down because we got more shots than them. If we make shots, it's a different ballgame. So we have to make shots. It all boils down to you probably not going to get stops against them, but when you outshoot them, you get more shots, you got to make shots. And that's why they dominated the game. They made open shots.
Tanaya, what did you see out there? Was it left bothering you inside? And then you just settle shots and later back while you were in trouble?
No, I just felt like I was a little hesitant. I could have been more aggressive. I feel like the second half I came a lot more aggressive. I feel like once they seen that I was more aggressive, it helped me to, pass it to my teammates. And, they contributed from that way. But I definitely feel like I was a little hesitant in the beginning, but I feel like I played a little bit better.
Now you have your first break coming up, going to conference play. How do you think you've handled everything so far in the first season?
I just think I handled things pretty good through the past games we played, being a freshman.
Mia, let's go back, Mia, because we need to get better at this.
How are you handling first semester done? Now you have break, getting ready for conference?
I handle things pretty good, like playing, starting as a freshman, like everything's coming together.
Okay, good.
Tanaya, how much of a difference can you see, in particular I'm thinking about tonight, with the scouting report and how teams are defending you compared to the start you had this season? What do you see?
I feel like they definitely gonna start playing off me a little bit more so I get confident enough to be able to just knock it down consistently. But I definitely feel like they just play me straight up. I feel like, I don't really get this.
You haven't seen a difference when you've been scoring a lot of points that the way teams have been defending?
So today you played on the perimeter more. So I'll answer it for her. A lot of times Tanaya's playing at the 4 spot. So she's playing against a bigger player. Now with Shannon in the starting lineup and Tanaya playing at the 3, she's playing against someone just like her. So the advantage is not really so much Tanaya at an advantage because she has to go from the 3-point line to get to the basket, where when she's in the post, she's going from the free throw line to get to the basket. And a lot of times she has that advantage at the 4. Same with Mia. They have an advantage when these two guys are playing the 4 and 5 spot because most guys can't guard them when they're at the free throw line ripping and going. So Tanaya, when we're putting her at the 3, it's basically she's playing against herself, a guy that's just as quick, just as athletic. That's why we try to move her to the 4 so she could have an advantage.
Tony, after you play them next year down there and you see how you are, would you look at renewing or extending the series after that point?
We'll see what happens next year.
No, I gave you the if.
Yeah, Tommy, at the end of the game, you had Amani on the bench next to you, and then Nicolette had a lay at the 10th, and it seemed like the whole bench was going crazy. What was going through that?
Well, the thing is, and I tried to explain this to them, we're not really, you want Nick to score because Nick doesn't get to play. But we also got to realize we're down 30-something, and we should be laughing and joking. I'm not that person where we laughing and joking, we're losing by 30. So, I understand that Nick's out there, and she doesn't have that opportunity, and her teammates are excited for her. But we also have to keep it in perspective.
Tanya, you obviously were focused on the game today, but now that it's over, seeing the last couple of days for Dawn, your friend, having a street name for her, the Rex Center, what does it mean to you to have a friend get
You
on
know,
by
I
her
was
city?
talking this to my assistant coach. You know, Dawn grew up in Philly, and you know, we went to school together, and you know, we're both inner city kids where we don't come from a lot. I mean, we have great support system, but financially we weren't, you know, loaded or whatever. So we looked out for each other in college. She got $20. She's sharing that $20 with me. You know, she's making sure that I have whatever she has. If I needed my hair done and she was getting her hair done, she made sure I got my hair done as well. So we looked out for each other. And to see, you know, the city pull for her and really stand behind her, that's awesome. You know, because that doesn't really happen a lot. And for her, a female in Philly, that's a big deal. You know, I thought that was a big deal.
What was it like coaching against her tonight?
I mean, it's just like coaching again. It wasn't, you know, I don't look at it like that. Like, just like the Gino, the Jamel, that's all. That happened a long time ago, my first year. Now it's just an opponent where you're trying to win a basketball game.
Time for one more question.
Tony, you've coached a lot of really good players. We're at UConn, and you're here. Seeing Wilson one game obviously doesn't tell you everything, but just where do you think she is?
She's good. I mean, I was at USA Basketball where the top players in college were there, and she's really good. I mean, and the thing that makes her good, she's 6'5". She's a lefty. She can shoot. She can dribble. She can do everything. And she got an attitude. You know, like, she knows she's good, and she's going to go out and, I mean, that's half the battle when you know you're good and you're confident about it. I mean, she's just flat out good. And most people can't play her one-on-one. There are not a lot of players out there like her. So you have to throw a double team. And not only is she a lefty, but she's worked on her game to the point where she can put the ball on the floor and go right. I mean, she's just a talent, and I'm glad she won't be there next year.
Thank you.